Hello, this is Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian that discusses this and that, and Milo. I don't really talk about Milo a whole lot. He doesn't really need me to talk on his behalf. For the most part, I think Milo has been a positive thing for the men's movement. He has certainly stated himself that he's not a men's activist in any way. But he does think that the men's movement tends to be on the ball. There are many times that I actually disagree with Milo Yiannopoulos. And I'm also concerned whether or not he will remain an ally to our movement. I don't really have an opinion on if I really like him or not. I've never really met him. I only know him through his videos. So I want you to understand that when I choose to defend Milo in this circumstance, I'm not doing it because I'm a fan of his. I like him. I like the work that he's done. I like what he has said. I like that he's getting a lot of the things that we've been saying in the men's movement out there, but he's also saying a lot of other things. So I like that aspect of him, but I'm not a diehard fan. Would I go see a show of his if I had the money and he was like in the area? Hell yeah. Would I meet him if I had the chance? Hell yeah. Would I suck his dick? Maybe. But in order for me to ever say that like I'm a huge fan of his, I would have to talk to him face to face. I'd have to get to know the man. So this whole issue of him being a pedophile, you know, I actually listened to the chopped up video that's playing out there right now. And I see why some people say it, like, oh yeah, he supports pedophilia. And it's like, you're not even really listening to what he's saying. You're just trying to like twist it. Even the video that's cut together, he doesn't specifically say he supports pedophilia. Now, I haven't seen the actual video, the full video in as it is. I'm only seeing what the clipped version is. Now, there's a person on there. Now, a couple people's like, well, it just sounds like, you know, pedophilia. It sounds like you support this. What the video does, what the video is, what Milo is specifically saying. First, he's talking, he jokes around, okay? I mean, you know, I've been raped. I was raped as an 8-year-old child by an older woman. And I joke about it. It's a way of dealing with it. And Milo jokes about everything. And it's one of the things that me and Milo have in common is that everything is open for satire. Everything is open for joking. And he makes the offhand remark. And of course, he does it in a deadpan, just like I do. Or it's like, well, you know, the way I got good at head was because of, you know, father, whoever. So he is joking. He's making a dark humor about the situation he went through. Is he traumatized from it? I don't know. I don't know if he was traumatized by what he went through. I know that I was, even though I don't act like it, because my way of dealing with it is just to kind of push it out away from me and make the occasional joke about it. But what someone said is, well, it sounds like pedophilia to me. And Milo, another thing about Milo that you really have to understand, and this is actually something me and Milo have in common, is that words have specific meaning. Now, our culture today, especially within the last 20 or 30 years, have started to appropriate words to mean a whole host of things. And pedophilia is one such word. Pedophilia refers to children that have not reached puberty yet, that are being sexually molested. And what Milo said specifically when someone accused him of supporting pedophilia on that is, well, no, pedophilia refers to underage. Under the age of 10 or 11, whenever someone hits puberty, before that time, if they are engaged in any sort of sex, is pedophilia. Now, the problem is that most people have got it into their heads that anyone under the age of 18 is pedophilia. No, that's a different term. That term specifically is hebephilia. It's Hebephile. And what the definition of that is a person who is primarily attracted to adolescents or children who have at least started puberty, have signs of adult sexual maturation, but are still young and developing both mentally and physically. Generally, this means teenagers and preteens between 11 and 14. And that's what Milo was getting at, and of course, doing shows like that, you got people questioning you all the time. You can't always get to your point, and sometimes you just get lost in what you're trying to talk about. And I think this is what Milo was hinting at, is that when someone's like, well, you're just, that's just pedophilia, it's like, no, pedophilia is under the age of puberty. Okay, that's all he was saying. So, and even the chopped up version that we're seeing out there, listen to that again. I urge you to listen to that again, because when he's making the joke, yeah, he's making a joke. Take that into context. He makes a lot of jokes. As Thrax is saying in my chat, dark humor is sometimes the only way we can stay sane, and that is true. But listen to him again when someone's like, well, that just sounds like pedophilia. No, pedophilia is, under the age of 13. He didn't really complete the thought that, between 11 and 14 is hebephilia, or however the hell you say it. There's not like a little link here that says how to actually say something. So, and then he went on later in the video, on the Drunken Peasant stream, that he agrees with the age of consent laws, and that they're fine where they're at. In fact, when he's initially talking about younger males and older males, he doesn't actually specify an age at that point. Now, he could be talking about a 13-year-old boy having sex with a 30-year-old man, or he could be talking about an 18-year-old male having sex with a 60-year-old man. He didn't define age. Okay? Now, maybe he should have specified what he meant at that time, but he probably didn't think someone was going to accuse him of being a pedophile for what he was saying on the Drunken Peasant stream. Okay? So we can't know for certain what he specifically meant by a young male. And in fact, some 18-year-olds are still referred to as boys. They're definitely referred to as teens, but sometimes they are referred to as boys. Just like an 18-year-old girl is still referred to as a girl, an 18-year-old boy. So when we really listen, even the chopped up one, we really, really listen to what is said, nowhere in that did Milo Yiannopoulos say he thinks pedophilia is okay. And the fact that now Simon & Schuster, I've heard that they've rescinded their offer for a book deal, which is horrible, but I'm sure another publisher is going to pick that up, that he's been canceled to speak at, to be a keynote speaker at a conference. That's very unfortunate, but when are people going to learn that when you attack Milo Yiannopoulos, when you ban him from shit, he becomes more popular? You know, maybe Milo's a little bit worried now about all of this, and that's why he's trying to get on top of it. It's like, look, you know, don't believe this shit. This is my side of things. But you know what? If people actually listen, they're going to realize that, no, he didn't say anything. And, you know, when I first heard this, I'm like, no. If anything, he was joking. I mean, I didn't even have to see the video to know that Milo doesn't support this at all. He is not that kind of person. I mean, I don't even really like Milo. And that was my first thought right there, was no, he had to have been joking if he had said anything at all. And having seen the video, I know I have a fucking brain. I hear it just fine. Actually listen to what it said, what he says specifically. Listen to the specific words he uses, because Milo, like me, knows what the definitions of words are. You know, like one of the big one, you know, I just criticized Mundane Matt for, you know, him referring to the horseshoe theory. He's like, it's not a theory, it's a fact. You fucking moron. I love you, Mundane Matt. I watch your show all the time, but you're a fucking moron for saying that it's not a theory, it is fact, because a theory is a fact. And he, of all people, should know that. I also get butthurt when people misuse the term sentient. When they say, hey, you know, dogs aren't sentient. Yes, they are. They are sentient. Or, you know, this, like, I was reading something. I think it was like an XCOM reference or whatever. Some XCOM 2 mod or whatever. And it's like, they're sentient, but also hyper intelligent. I'm like, so you mean sapient? Because that would what the definition of sapient is. So Milo knows that words have specific meanings. And if you want to address Milo and understand what it is he's trying to say, you have to look up the specific meaning of words. And he knows what pedophile means, and he also knows what hebephile means. Heba, heba, hebi. He knows what these words mean. So he's not supporting it. He's just clearly defining what something is. He just didn't define what it is that the age range he was talking about. And he was making a dark joke. So I'm rambling on at this point. But you know what? I still like that Milo's out there. You know, I love that Christine Hoff Sommers is out there. I even like that, you know, Janet Bloomfield or Judgy Bitch, she's still out there. Because the more voices we get out there talking, the better. Now, those three people, I don't 100% agree with. And I don't know if they will ever truly be a true ally to us. But then I'm not ever going to really know that until I talk to them face to face. And that's just who I am. I'm sure many of you out there are fans of these individuals and feel so certain that they are. That's good. That's good for you. But for me, I would want to look them in the eyes. I'd want to shake their hands. I'd like to have a 10-minute conversation to really get a good grasp on them. Because it's easy for them. It's easy for us to look at them and it's like, oh yeah, they said this, this, and this. They must mean that they're on our side. But there have been times that they've said something else, and I'm like, that's awful that they said that. So I want Milo out there. I think what's happening to him is fucked up. It's like they're taking something from 2015 and now introducing it in 2017. That means that either A, someone just magically found this right after he got announced for being at this conservative conference, or B, they knew about this for a long time and had been sitting on it for God knows what reason. So, but they messed up, in all honesty, because that video, just listen to what it specifically says, even the butchered up conversation that he's having. Milo does not support pedophilia. Milo is against pedophilia. And then go look at the original video by the drunken peasants and hear what he specifically has to say. He doesn't support it. You just have to take into context that he's using the specific meanings of it and not the normalization that we have today. And that was one thing Mundane Matt said is, you know, the way that the word pedophilia is being used, it's actually starting to become normalized, and that shouldn't happen. That, oh, well, if you don't agree with me, that makes you a pedophile. That makes you a racist. That makes you a sexist. For anything. And you know what? Once words start being interchangeable with just about everything, they lose their true meaning. And of course, those who are victimized and become those things become invisible. So, anyways, that is my opinion on all of this. Agree with me, disagree with me. Leave a comment down below what you think. You know, do you think Milo deserves what he's getting right now? Or, you know, do you think that he's just being... Personally, I think, you know, both sides are going after him because he's getting popular. And he's starting to become a face of a new generation, and many people in the establishment dislike that because they want things to remain as they are. So put your comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'll see you tomorrow for Cobra Cat on Modern Medusa's channel. This is Mad Cat signing out.